that part was called Gretsch Blues by Clint Curtis, a very great Newfoundlander guitar player that we have here, musician. The first part was something called Dirty Blues that melts your face. Um, Found that on the internet. I think it's AI generated, but I decided that I wanted to learn some of that, and that's what I played for my Gretsch. My Gretsch, my one and only Gretsch. Episode 74, guys. Number 74. Well, here it is. My Gretsch. I looked for years to try to find a copy of a Gretsch on AliExpress and all kinds of different places. And even though the Chinese and the Vietnamese and Malaysians are all really into making other copies of Fender guitars, they don't make one of these. And I don't know why. Because it's a couple of humbuckers, a body shape pretty close to a Les Paul, a set neck like a Les Paul, except this one's better. But I have Chinese guitars with nice set necks like this, though, where you can't see the joint. With rosewood fretboards and a couple of things on it. So this has a Bigsby, whatever. But I mean, I don't know why they can't make copies of these things. So I bought an original because I wanted one before I die. Now, I wanted one, and I wanted one like this or a Jet, but I couldn't remember which one I really wanted, but I wanted the Electromatic pickups, not the Broadtrons. I didn't like the sound of the Broadtrons since they first came out, even though they changed them after the first 2 years. They're still too dark and muddy, and I would have had to change the pickups anyway. So I decided against that. Now, it's staying in tune wonderfully these days, unless you touch this. This thing is just like a whammy on a Strat. You touch it, it goes out of tune, and they don't go back into tune no matter what you do. Even on my Floyd Roses, they're like that. I tried changing the spring, as some people have talked about. I played with the adjustment of the 4 mounting screws, and prior to filming this episode, I loosened the back ones completely, and I did a whole nother round of trying to adjust this thing and to see if I could make it work and stay in tune with this bar. But I got close on most of the strings, and then a couple still wouldn't go in and stay in tune, so it was bittersweet. It looks nice. It looks nice, but I just can't make it work. It's going to take more time. I even put the roller bridge on here. I put this on all my guitars that have this type of tailpiece. Roller bridges on every single Les Paul that I have. I have recut a little bit of the nut before filming this, because when I was playing with it, I found a couple of them were still too high on the G, the D, and I think a little bit of the A. Now the tuners that came on this, they were decent, but I mean, they weren't totally decent, so I put a set of locking on it since I had them here, and these are the I took my glasses off. These are the Safus. These are a Temu buy. I think they're all made by Geiker, because they're basically a Geiker design. Now, that was a choice, right? These are better than what came on there. There's less slop in them. Now, as far as the knobbies go, we've got 2 volumes, a tone, and a master volume over here. This one had some kind of a treble bleed on it, and I thought, well, if you have a treble bleed here and these don't have the treble bleed to allow the signal to get to there, what's the point? Because if you don't have these full and you play over here, well, all of a sudden you're cutting back on the high frequencies. So I modified this to have a treble bleed capacitor on both the volumes so that everything could get here, such that if I want to use this one, or I want to use that one, or I want to use this one, they all work adequately. So that was the only upgrade I did with the electrics. I thought about this pick guard. It's over, it's resting over the trim ring, which is unusual. Gretches are the only people that do this as far as I know. I thought about cutting it back, but then it was going to be a little bit too close here to this screw, so I thought, let's leave well enough alone. But other than that, I mean, this thing, yeah. Other than that, I mean, it plays nice. These pickups sound nice. On those two tunes that I did, I had my standard 65 deluxe reverb with my basic deluxe and reverb, I should say my reverb and delay set as per usual. And on my pedal board, I ran it through the compressor first into my M-Wave mini effects pedal, and I had it on number 2, which is the overdrive tube screamer, what do they call it? Tube screamer clone output, and then that hit my mini universe M-Wave, again delay and reverb combined in one unit to give it a little bit more of the sustain that I needed, and that was the signal chain for both of those little diddlies. But yes, I'm really happy with my Gretsch. It turned out great, and I didn't really have to do a whole lot to it. There was some fret work, some edge work, but other than that, it wasn't that bad. This was a buy from Three Rivers, as we call it in English, but Trois Rivières in Quebec, halfway between Montreal, or almost halfway between Montreal and Quebec City, up the St. Lawrence River, at Long and McQuaid. They had this on their website as a demonstrator, and it didn't come with all the tools, as if you watch the original series, it didn't come with all the original Gretsch tools, and it turns out that this has a 5mm truss rod adjustment, unlike most guitars that have well, it's not, well, it is Asian made. I can't remember where it was made. It was made in China. So that's right on the back of it. Made in China. And then most of the Les Paul types, they have, you know, a 4mm. Even the Fender copies have 4mm. Original Fenders don't. Original Fenders have something much smaller than a 4mm. It's a North American type, but it's just a tad smaller than a 4mm on the original Fender for my Fender Strat. But anyway, I lucked out with this one. They said it was a demonstrator, but you know, typically when you have demonstrators, you know, there's scratches and there's marks and stuff, but it came like it was brand spanking new. I got a slight discount on it because it was a demonstrator, but you know, what the hell? I like it. And as my buddy J-Man says, if you like it, it's a good guitar. I like that saying, because this is 74 of them, one more to go, and I like them all. And if I didn't buy them and make them all mine, they wouldn't be mine, but because I did, I like them all. And there was a couple I couldn't fix, and I got screwed on a few, but I fixed most of them. I mean, 99% of them basically. So anyway, my one and only brand name guitar, Gretsch. Yes, indeed, 5232T. Appreciate all the support, guys. I'll catch you in the last one, number 75.